Alibaba shipped 2 AI models yesterday, and every channel is covering the wrong one. The one that matters just made your OpenAI bill optional, and your competitor with the nerdier developer already knows. You are staring at a monthly AI invoice somewhere between $500 and $5,000 a month that grew quietly for a year, and you cannot tell from any headline whether this week's release is the one that finally makes the switch worth the pain. I have been through it. I am going to give you the answer in 10 minutes, straight. Here is the click contract. Qwen3.8 Max is the headline. Qwen3.8-27B is the invoice you're about to stop paying. I am going to show you the math, the workloads it eats today, the one thing you must keep paying a frontier model to do, and the one afternoon of work that flips your P&L this month. The move is at the end, it takes a Monday, and it costs less than 1 week of your current AI bill. 2 Qwen models landed on the same day from Alibaba. Max is the closed one, priced to compete with GPT-5 and Claude Opus at the top of the market. The 27B is the open one, free to download, free to run, free to modify inside your business, forever, no per token bill. The whole AI news cycle went to Max. Benchmarks against GPT-5. Which coder is smarter? Whether China just beat OpenAI. Cool. The story sells thumbnails and moves nothing on your invoice. None of it is the story for you. You are not building a research lab. You are running a business. You have a monthly OpenAI invoice you cannot fully explain to your accountant and a competitor who is quietly cutting theirs by half. OpenAI's gross margin depends on you not knowing the 27B exists. Alibaba's strategy depends on you finding out. Guess which one funded the loud coverage this week? The story for you is the 27B, and it is boring, which is why the loud channels missed it. Boring is where the money moves. Let me show you what a real invoice looks like. Say your business is spending $3,000 a month on OpenAI. Not unusual. A small team with a couple of automations, an internal chat that summarizes customer emails, some customer support drafting, and a lead scoring workload can hit the number quietly by the end of Q1. You did not decide to spend $3,000, it just added up. Now watch this. A single rented graphics card, the kind you rent by the hour from Runpod or Vast, an L40S, runs about $2 an hour. 24/7, $1,440 a month. Fixed, predictable, yours. The card runs the Qwen3.8-27B model comfortably, loads it in memory, serves your whole team, answers requests all day, does not sleep. 3,000 versus 1,440. You just recovered $1,560 a month back in your P&L for the same job. Every month is a hire, or an ad budget, or a quarter of a decent contractor. Break even on the card versus your OpenAI bill sits around $4.17 an hour of usage. Below that, self-hosting wins. Above it, the API still wins. Every business I have looked at in the last year sits well below the number and has no idea. Here is the part nobody says on camera. The graphics card does not care whether you use it. 10 prompts an hour or 10,000, the bill is the same $1,400 a month. OpenAI bills you per token. You bill yourself per hour. Different physics, different game. If videos like the one you are watching actually change what you spend next month, hit subscribe now, it costs nothing and it keeps them coming. I am not telling you Max is bad. Max is fine. Max is priced for the 20% of your workload that actually needs a frontier brain. The problem is, you are paying frontier prices for the 80% that does not. Stay with me. The next part decides which of your competitors moves first this month, which brings us to the real question. What does 27B actually do well enough to replace a paid API call, and what does it not? Because if you get it wrong, you either overspend or you ship a broken product. I asked Claude Opus to answer cleanly for a business owner staring at a $3,000 OpenAI bill, 5 short lines. Here is what came back, and it lines up with what I see in every client account. Move to the open model, bulk classification and tagging, sentiment on support tickets, intent routing on inbound emails, tagging leads by industry. The work is boring, high volume, and 27B eats it. Move to the open model, extraction and summarization from documents into fixed formats, pulling line items from invoices, turning meeting transcripts into a project template, reading a PDF and filling a form. Boring, high volume handled. Move to the open model. High volume first draft generation on templates you already edit anyway. Draft outreach emails, draft blog outlines, draft product descriptions your writer polishes in 10 minutes. The first pass is now effectively free. Keep paying frontier prices for one thing: multi-step agentic work. An assistant that chains tools together, writes code, corrects itself, and finishes a job across 10 steps without dropping a thread. Claude Opus or GPT-5 still owns the job. Do not fight it, do not cheap out on it. The frontier earns its price tag on the 20%. The 3 migratable buckets are usually 70 to 85% of your token volume, which means on a $3,000 bill, roughly 2,000 of it moves to a fixed 1,400 rental, and the remaining thousands stays on a frontier API, because it should. 2,000 out, 600 in, every month, forever, on autopilot. 2 segments left. The next one is the exact Monday morning move. Most consultants will charge you $30,000 to plan and quote you 3 months to deliver. Here is what nobody selling AI infrastructure will tell you. The switching cost is not the model. The switching cost was the model in 2023. In August 2026, the model is the easy part. The plumbing is the whole job. And the plumbing is trivial. The plumbing is one thing: a router. A tiny piece of code between your app and the model that looks at each request and decides whether it goes to your Qwen instance for the cheap 80 or to the Frontier API for the expensive 20. Add an eval script that grades both answers on a sample of your real traffic. 2 files. Done. I am going to say the number out loud so you can hold your developer to it. 1 week of a competent contractor. Not a rewrite, not a migration, not a strategic transformation, not 6 months. 1 week, 1 router, 1 inference host, 1 eval script, 1 sample dataset from your last month of logs. Anyone quoting you more is padding the invoice and betting you have not watched a video like the one playing right now. If you are the operator, here is exactly what happens Monday morning. Your dev spins up a Runpod pod with an L40S. They install vLLM, which serves the Qwen3.8-27B model behind the same API shape OpenAI uses. Your existing code does not need to change. They point a router at both endpoints. They replay last month's real traffic through both. They read the eval scores. They flip the router's default from OpenAI to Qwen for the workloads that pass. Everything else keeps going to OpenAI. Nothing breaks. Your customers see nothing. The whole move is 1 week, the rest is watching the invoice full by Friday. And you get to look your CFO in the eye and explain exactly what every dollar of AI spend bought. Try the same conversation with your current setup. The one thing before you close the tab. Open your last OpenAI billing page yourself right now. Look at the monthly total. Divide it by 720. The number is your hourly AI spend. If it is above $2 an hour, a single rented graphics card running Qwen3.8-27B costs you less than you are paying OpenAI to sit idle at 3 in the morning. That is the proof, not me telling you. Everything I broke down today. The router pattern, the workload split, the eval prompts I used to grade a migration before I flipped the switch, the exact Runpod setup, all of it lives inside the Church of SEO Jesus, my free school community for operators cutting AI bills the same way. Free to join, no credit card, link in the description and pinned comment. Get in before the next release lands, because there will be one in 6 weeks, and the operators who set the router up this month are the ones who eat the discount when it does. Next up, the AI drop that quietly repriced every marketing agency in the country. End screen, right side.